11 years after we finished Tremors 4, actually I thought, okay, 4 is a great place to stop. We've done it, it's wonderful. Universal Studios comes back and says, we'd like another one. 11 years later. Naturally, this was a big surprise. I thought the franchise was dead and buried, but an enterprising producer at Universal Home Entertainment had coaxed the huge media company into giving Tremors another try. Now, there were big changes in this one, first of all. The producers, writers, directors in the first 4 could not come to terms with the studio, and Universal wanted to reinvent the franchise. And so this was obviously going to be a very different thing. They wanted to reinvent it for a new generation of viewers who were accustomed to video games. Maybe hadn't seen the first 4. If they had, could accept this new version. And frankly, I was a little wary about participation in it because I so loved the original crew. But once again, I was drawn in by the gravity of playing this wonderful character of Burt Gummer, which they had created all those years before. It's hard to resist returning to Burt, this great paranoid, comic, obsessive, compulsive, disordered man. And so I thought, I will try to hitch my wagon to this particular set of horses and see what happens. So I had assurances that I could participate in the creation of the new piece, particularly in regard to Burt, how he spoke, how he approached things. And I began to feel, well, this is my opportunity for them not to perhaps replace me with another actor and get Burt wrong. So I felt in some ways as a defender of what the first group of creators had created, to make sure they didn't get Burt wrong, because I began to feel proprietary about this man, this character. Right. So I was more than an action adventure, as the others have been to such a degree. And so I wanted to challenge Burt both physically, with of course the monsters, and emotionally. And that turned out to be finding a son he never knew in the person of Jamie Kennedy, Dr. Jamie Kennedy. So enter my co-star, and off to South Africa we went, where we met a lot of great South African stars, Pearl Tusi, Rhea Ringanga, Daniel Jenks, a number of other great South African actors, and we filmed this near a nature preserve in the bush a great deal of the time. So it was not unusual at home base to find a group of gazelles or a wildebeest or elephants traipsing through our work, and so we had to watch out for them. Fortunately, the only other more dangerously lives on the premises was a hippopotamus, which they said only goes out at night, so you should not wander the grounds at night. I stayed in bed, don't you worry about that. Challenging physically, I might say. Was that just because I was 11 years older since Tremors 4, or it was because it was demanding? I don't know. I was running through herds of cattle, stuck in a cage with a lion at one point. And I wound up breaking a rib in a fall, which was very painful, but didn't stop me from filming. It just meant I had trouble breathing. That hurts. But Jamie and I worked together very differently. He was a veteran of stand-up and improv, while I was less sure when Burt went off script, because I've always thought that Burt spoke in a very specific way, and I wanted to get those specifics, the way he spoke, his turn of phrases, very specific, and so I was a little afraid to improv. But it was pretty brutal at times. I must say the thing I feared most being in the cage with the lion surrounding me was, frankly, sunburn more than the lion. And in fact, every time the lion lost interest in me, they gave me several pieces of meat inside the cage to lure the lion back. The lion, oh, I've had enough of my gross. Well, I keep bringing him back with hearts of meat, and that's how we finally got that thing shot. I, of course, was slathered with sunblock because that's the only way I could get through the scene. So it was brutal, crazy, but led by the good-natured and indefatigable director Don Michael Paul, which hit this weekend. It was a wonderful run. So I hope you all enjoy Tremors 5, Bloodlines.